Hi, my name is John Schock, and I'm married to my beautiful wife, Sherry. I've got three amazing kids, Grace, Nathaniel, and Megan, and we've been coming to Lake City since about 2009. I grew up on the mission field. I was born in Taiwan to missionary parents, and we lived there until I came back for college. When you're a missionary kid, you learn very early that, God is in control, and my parents are moving around because, God has called them to do so. And so you start to equate the idea that God is all powerful and in control of everything, and yet when bad things happen to you, you realize that He chose to do nothing in that instance, and it can really kind of give you a warped picture of who God is, that He's powerful enough to do things but doesn't care enough to take care of you. And it manifested really in my life as a teenager and a young adult. I sort of developed this idea that since God doesn't care specifically about me, and only cares, in general about the world, that I could kind of have the same attitude towards Him, that, as long as I didn't do anything obviously wrong and that my sin was hidden, that it wasn't a huge deal. I guess where it came to head for me, I'd been married to Sherry for a couple of years, 3 years, and I was leading a small group at our church at the time, and we were doing a study on prayer. And so I was preparing for the study, and I was kind of reading through the section in the book on prayer, and it said something to the effect of, if your prayers are blocked, or you feel like you're not connected with God, or you feel like God is distant and doesn't care about you, then you need to look at your own life for sources of hidden sin that could be blocking that relationship. And a light kind of went on in my head, because I realized, kind of for the very first time it became real to me, that the blockage in my relationship with God, the reason that I didn't feel connected with Him and that He was far away, was because I had sin that I was not dealing with, and that was kind of plugging up that relationship. And I came to realize that, He does care about me personally, and so my sin does personally matter. It really does have consequences, even though it may be hidden. And so, I went through a period of growth. I kind of rededicated my life to a God I could believe in, who was actually there and relevant. And over time, that's really become like the very fabric of meaning for me in my life, the very thing that gives reasons to live, right? Well, about a year ago, Tom Lee approached me and said, "Hey, we're looking to mentor some people for potential eldership. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Sure." So I've been meeting with him for almost a year now, and kind of going through some of the qualifications for elders and so forth. And through that process, I've started to feel God's call on me to be willing to be an elder. If there's a need in the church, and so it looks like there's potential for that to happen. So I'm ready to go down that road.